All right, let's bring in townhall.com political editor Guy Benson along with Liz Peek, both our Fox News contributors. Thank you guys for joining us. I mean, Guy, I'm going to come to you first. That is the point. So there's an embarrassment with the homelessness, the drugs, and the crime. And so Xi Jinping is going to come to town. They clean it up. Wouldn't it be great if they had the same amount of respect for their own citizens and clean this garbage off the streets, even when Xi's not there?
Yeah, exactly. They can do this. This is the proof. They've had the capability of doing this all along. They just chose not to. For whatever reasons, equity, they would talk about budget, they had all sorts of buzzwords and excuses, but when they needed to roll out the red carpet for the authoritarian communist leader from China, then they lickety-split got everything done. And by the way, there'll be a ton of security there, too. So crime for a few days will plummet in San Francisco because there will be people with guns protecting other important people. Then, when all of that show goes away, then what? For the folks who actually live in San Francisco, who've been just mired in this squalor for years, now they have a sense that their leaders not only are incompetent, which is true, they have the ability to shake the incompetence, if briefly, to turn the place more livable. They've just made a choice not to do it through their policies for years. What a slap in the face.
Liz, the humor in all this is China, in every which way, knows exactly what's going on in the United States. They certainly watch the news and know that San Francisco is a hellhole. Yeah. It is a sewage lagoon. And if they didn't know it through just TV, they would be spying on everybody in a position of power in San Francisco and across the United States. However, it's a symptom also of how these leaders treat and think of the actual law-abiding residents of that city. That if you're a law-abiding resident, you're just a piece of garbage. That's how they treat you.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. Look, the Chinese have already made a lot of propaganda value out of what a mess San Francisco is. They do know what it's all about, and now they're probably laughing at San Francisco and the United States government for trying to clean it up. But it isn't just that our officials now have shown that they can do it. They also have shown that they know how horrible it is and how offensive and embarrassing it is. So where is that will? I mean, by the way, this is not unique to San Francisco. Throw New York City into that mix, or Chicago, for heaven's sakes, or Philadelphia or Baltimore. All of these Democrat-run cities are allowing their taxpayers and residents to live in really unsafe circumstances. The streets are dirty. As Guy says, some misbegotten notion of equity or fairness is leading to all kinds of terrible outcomes. And guess what? People are leaving these cities. That's the bottom line.
Yep. So, Guy, Joe Biden appears weak on the world stage. He has been painfully weak on China. Do you see anything positive coming out of a meeting between Xi and Biden?
I mean, you can always hope. I'm not sure there's reason to be confident for all sorts of reasons. You alluded to several of them. But I think on this issue of San Francisco, I believe Chairman Xi should have to look at some of his handiwork, because we've seen it on the streets of San Francisco and other cities now for a number of years. The fentanyl that has poisoned so many Americans. We saw a soundbite in that clip with Laura Ingraham, someone hooked on fentanyl. Much of it comes from China, big components. Of course, COVID policies, which are California's fault, the city's fault, but COVID itself originating in China, covered up by China, so on and so forth. A lot of the misery in that part of our country is at least partially due to China, and yet we're whitewashing it. Just like we whitewashed it with a little Potemkin village when Joe Biden finally went down to the border. Remember that? He didn't see a single migrant because they cleaned the whole thing up and got everyone out of sight, out of mind, just like they're doing now. Where are the homeless people going in San Francisco? I would love to know that answer, but it's like, oh, quick, off somewhere else, just for the time being, just so the leaders don't have to see their own policies in action, which I think is also sort of disgraceful.
Well, the city's such a garbage dump. The hotel rooms are about $88 a night, so I bet you they got them all hotel rooms on the taxpayers' dime. That would be my guess. Liz, I want to move on to this story. MIT walked back its threat to suspend students who refused to leave an anti-Semitic demonstration on campus because, get this, the school and the leadership were worried that some of them might get deported because they're in the country on student visas. MIT's president issuing this statement, reading in part, quote, because we later heard serious concerns about collateral consequences for the students, such as visa issues, we have decided as an interim action that these students who remained after the deadline will be suspended from non-academic campus activities. She is now, so far as we know, the first university president to acknowledge that foreign students are at least in part behind the recent spate of, let me call it, genocidal anti-Semitism on campus and open harassment of Jewish students. And they're spitting in her face. They're spitting in her face saying, you're new around here. We rule the school.
Well, I mean, this is not the only school where basically the asylums are the inmates are in charge of the asylum. In this case, I think a lot of it has to do with money, Dagan. 30% of MIT students are foreign. 6% are Jewish. So foreign students tend to pay their full freight. American students don't always do that. So I think part of it is a calculus that they don't want to offend some of these students. And by the way, we also know from a recent report that MIT has taken almost $1 billion from foreign governments, some of them from the Middle East. So I think, again, we have to look at the money trail here. And I think what this president is doing is, again, another step ensuring that there's never accountability for anything. But B, that the student union, the Jewish union in the school, has sent a really very strong-worded letter about how Jewish students are afraid to go to school. They're being blocked from classrooms, as are Jewish professors. And this is the group that basically this college president is trying to protect from deportation. My view is deport them.
Yep.
Guy, your reaction to the story real quick?
I mean, it's on some level astounding, on another level not surprising. You have, it now appears, as the school has admitted, foreign nationals in this country as a privilege, not as any sort of right, intimidating Jewish community members, students and faculty, blocking them from entering certain places. They fear for their physical safety. Meanwhile, these people are at best Hamas sympathizers. And the school has decided, rather than enforcing their own rules, having threatened the students, we're going to do this if you'd misbehave this way. They did it anyway. Now they said, oh, well, apparently our highest value is we don't want Hamas sympathizers in our midst to face any possibility of deportation. And so away go the consequences. It is really, really shameful.
It is. Guy Benson, Liz Peek, always a pleasure. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.